going to take just a few minutes and discuss definition of AAA hockey, or Tier 1. What makes a program or a team Tier 1 or AAA? Is it the jackets with the 3 A's on it? Is it an association that decides they're going to be AAA? Are there any requirements to be a AAA program? Just getting voted in by the West Section people if you're in the Rochester area? What truly is AAA? Everybody has a little bit different definition of it. I'm going to give you mine. In my view, AAA is strictly related to the level of training that a program offers its players. Nothing to do with AAA tournaments, nothing to do with recruiting the top guys. It has everything to do with a full-fledged program from mite through midget that has a teaching progression that teaches the right game skills and tactics and individual skills at the right time, done by the right people, which give those players all the skill sets they need to play at higher levels when they get older. So the Grizzly program moving to a Tier 1 status next year is a decision that was based on skill development and nothing further, nothing more. In my view, and I've been doing this for 30 plus, almost 40 years now, the research that I've done, I'm just going to give you my definition of what a true AAA program might offer in regards to skill. Number one, let's talk about level of training. A typical true Tier 1 program would offer today's world 75 plus hours of training in a 26 plus week season. So end of August to early March, roughly 26 weeks, there would be at least 75 hours of training in that period. The top programs are closing in on 100 plus hours. Second on that is teaching the skills, both team, tactic, and individual skills through a series of progressions beginning at the youngest ages and moving through to the bantam or midget level as the kids develop. So that would mean kids at a mite or squirt level learn certain skills, skill sets, team skills, tactics, whatever at the appropriate time, and they build on each other as the kids graduate through the program. It's not independent of a coach or what a particular coach decides to do at a certain age. It's driven by the program, and the coaches implement the program guidelines related to skill progression. Number three, a program to be true AAA needs to retain its players year to year. The players' skills, based on what I just said, the skill progressions build on each other. The players staying in that program, at least the core group of players staying there, their skills progress each year, and the scattering of 1 or 2 or 3 possibly new players coming to the fold have a learning curve to make up, but they can do that with the core players providing the basis for that development. Number 4, there needs to be experienced coaches at the Pee Wee and Bantam levels, meaning these coaches have been at these levels before and have had success teaching what I call hockey sense, which is crucial at the Pee Wee and Bantam levels. Mite, squirt process, you can get coaches newer to the game. They're teaching skill development. A lot of people will go outside and get extra lessons or extra help with skills. Skills meaning stick handling, skating, passing, shooting. Once the kids get to Pee Wee and Bantam, they not only need to continue those skill progressions, but they need what we call hockey sense being taught as well. A lot of people look at hockey sense as something that's just innate in a player and can't be taught. Absolutely not true, but it's a specialty as far as how it's taught, and if you have not been there and been successful at teaching it, it's a very difficult skill to acquire. It needs to be learned from someone who has already done it successfully. So if you have those requirements and you have those continuously from the time the kids are mite to the time they're bantams or midgets, you have the foundation of what I would call a Tier 1 or AAA program. Nowadays, most of the high-end programs also plug in a mandatory element of dryland training and they have specialty coaches involved in working with their teams. Specialty meaning shooting coaches, skating coaches, power skating coaches, those kinds of things. Not a necessity, but the higher programs are all doing that today. So if you're not following those 4 or 5 items, any one of those lacking is going to make you, you might say you're AAA, but your program or association truly is not. At this point, well, let's look at a Tier 2 program, which I think personally most programs in this area are. Tier 2 programs skate twice a week. They have a 20 to a 23, 2 or 3 week season. 2 practices a week, usually an hour long, sometimes 50, maybe if you're lucky they're 60. You play a season of 40 plus games. You play in 3 or 4 tournaments. Each coach that's hired runs their own progression, their own program. Excuse me, I shut this off. Sorry about that. Each coach runs their own program. Very little help from the organization. Not a lot of structure as to what they're required to teach and how they're to teach it. Occasionally have some coaching meetings, but they're very general in nature and not related to a specific skill progression. As we get into further video clips down the road, I'm going to get into more detail in each of those items and give you examples of teams that do that successfully or programs that do that successfully, and why those items are so important in actually classifying yourself as a Tier 1 program. So for now, I'm going to end this, and in future clips coming up shortly, we'll go into more detail on these, and we'll give you the specifics as to why these are critical to truly being a Tier 1 program within the USA hockey system. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back to you soon. Bye-bye.